Namaskar to all respected dignitaries on the dais. They are so senior in the party for me, whether it is Rumta ji or Saikia ji, and a young friend, but who has, because of his father and himself, contributed so much in terms of seva in the party and the leadership that they need. I would put him in the category of senior as well. So all the three who are from the party seniors, and also impressive lady chartered accountant who leads Patna's chartered accountancy group. And sorry, I'm your name. No, Pallavi Jha, but I'm still Sonu. So the dignitaries on the dais and eminent chartered accountants from Patna city and its neighborhoods. It gives me great pleasure to talk to you all today. And I'm very happy that I'll be spending the whole day in the context of election, but meeting up with the professionals, industry and business leaders, and also the chambers, I think, of commerce. I was not very happy with Rituraj constantly saying Bihar piche reh gaye, piche reh gaye. No, Bihar is not piche. The truth of the matter is, there was at one point in time somebody in the bureaucracy, well up in the hierarchy, who told me at that time there were about 740 districts. Now it's probably touched 800. 897? 797. When this top bureaucrat was talking to me with about 740 districts in the country, Hamari Bihar, dekh lijiye madam. I said, I also feel very close to Bihar because my first exposure in JNU was a group of Biharis. Amazing. It was a learning experience because in JNU you tend to think that you're meeting with a miniature India. A miniature India, but disproportionately representing students from Bihar. But they were great friends. They were very good friends, with many of whom I have still working relationship even today. I call them, take inputs from them, they talk to me. They are in very different fields. But it gave me a big exposure, and in fact I can disclose that at that time I had come here with those friends and others, stayed in Patna, traveled from here via Muzaffarpur to Raxol, from Raxol went over to Nepal, did a complete 2 weeks of Nepal and came back via the same route, took the train from Patna, went back to JNU Delhi. And I can't forget it, it was the year when, in fact on that day when we were taking the train from Patna was the horrible Ashka tragedy. That Air India flight which was coming from Canada, first major terrorist attack of that scale had happened. So I had stayed in each one of these friends' place, and what great hospitality, what warm people, very, very family-like, and I have very strong memories of that visit to Bihar. So somebody asked me, is this your first visit to Bihar? No, I have come here as a student. And at that time onwards, I do have great Bihar. So that story which I've left incomplete. So this senior bureaucrat tells me, ma'am, Bihar, in the 740 districts, every alternative district at that time may not be holding good today, but every alternative district either has a sub from Bihar. And it was very clear. Of course, he included a bit of Jharkhand also. It was part all of you all together, Jharkhand and Bihar were together. The point that I'm trying to derive out of that conversation is, not just in bureaucracy, even today, in corporate world, in banking, in most business houses, the top positions are held by professionals from Bihar. Administration, revenue service, corporate bigwigs, financial services bigwigs are all from Bihar. You're running the country's businesses, you're running the country's banks, you're running the districts in the country. So, पीछे रह गए ऋतुराज? No. आप ही चला रही हो पूरे देश का. But I get Rituraj's angst in that they don't have a place here to run Bihar, to bring Bihar to that level which it is capable of reaching. I was saying a combination of bad governance, and combination of bad policies have contributed over the decades for Bihar to languish. I was saying in the press when I met the media this afternoon that the freight equalization policy of 1952 was singularly responsible for taking away Bihar's combined Bihar's resources from here to wherever people wanted to set up industry. Yes, you could claim there were big industries which came to Bihar, that is combined Bihar, like Tatas and Steel Authority of India, all of whom set up business in Jamshedpur and Ranchi and so on, no doubt. But the medium scale industry, which is what actually proliferates, which is what actually gives disproportionately higher number of jobs, couldn't be set up here because it was far cheaper to have it elsewhere, because anyway the raw material is available, and as a result people migrated out of here. And when that policy, as was rightly pointed out by Sunilji Rungta this afternoon, when that policy was tweaked to not disincentivize Bihar, by which time the damage was done, but when the policy was tweaked, started the jungle Raj in Bihar. That was in 91. The tweaking didn't have a positive effect because lawlessness prevailed. Things which are like folklore happened in Bihar. Vehicles from a new vehicle showroom, 50 of them were taken away at the show of a pistol because the daughter's wedding was happening. And if you wouldn't give it, you're not there to see the sunlight tomorrow morning. And these are not just fancy stories. And that's how lawlessness it was in Bihar at that time. Industry or investment, small or medium, definitely big, doesn't go near a state or a province or a region where lawlessness prevails. And that prevailed in Bihar between 91 and nearly 2002. As a result, everybody who could have come here after tweaking of that law couldn't still come, because who would want to risk his life? Or who would want his daughter's life to be risked? So it's a story of repeated one after the other reasons for a textbook to be written as to what you should not do with the state, what elected leaders of a state should not do to the state. So these are not fancy stories. I have data, I've given it in the media this morning. The per capita income of Orissa was higher than Bihar during these years. And it grew even higher, whereas Bihar was higher than Orissa much before all this started. A 33% fall in revenue. a 33% fall in per capita income. Can you believe it? There are states without the blessing of any river. You have the Ganga Mata here. There are states without fertile land. You have such fertile land, you have to just throw the seeds and sit and watch it grow. That is the level of fertility of the soil here. You get good rains, you have wonderful fruits growing here. You have great artists, great minds, scientific minds who lived here. I'm not even talking about the ancient era. Recently, even under the British, even under the post-freedom India, everything went to waste because either they got out for career satisfaction or they were languishing in Bihar. So my grief is, when we vote and elect our representatives, if we are so unfortunate to elect people who care nothing but for their family alone, that ancient democracy about which you have Rituraj speak with pride, and all of us look at it with pride. You know, the ancient Janapadas about which books don't say, but all of us have read it from different sources. And ancient Vikramshila, ancient Nalanda are all going to remain only in the textbooks. If we elect people who care nothing for the people and who want to build their own families, remove the poverty of their families and not of the people, remove, and I shall use the law to my favor, even misuse it. If we are so unfortunate to elect such people, we have nobody to blame but ourselves. So in that context, therefore, I start. I'm not here seeking vote, but I'm here telling all of us, inclusive of myself, India's reached that junction in a road which has 4 directions road going crossroads. We choose the right path, go forward. We can always choose the route with which we'll be ending up with dynastic rules, or with the rulers who are going to twist the law to favor themselves and not the people. We can always choose parties which quarrel with each other to choose a leader. Already bargaining has started. 1 prime minister each year for 5 years. We can choose all that. But there's no choice is what I want to put before you. We don't have the luxury of a choice. Because after 10 long years, with every Indian citizen believing that India has to improve, fighting to come out of COVID, and after that every individual putting his effort to make the economy vibrant, we have just reached that stage where opportunities are before us. Investments are waiting to come to us. Frontier industries are also willing to shift here. Technology is in the tips of our fingers. Our youth are now ready to train in AI, to maximum use technology. Industrial Revolution 4.0 is already there, whether you like it or not. And with the demographic dividend that we have, we need to use that Industrial Revolution 4.0 for our favor. We don't want robotics or AI to reach a level where they don't need our human intervention, but human intervention from some other country. They need human intervention. But can we be the leaders in that field? Can we be the leaders to make sure that we advance that AI and deep tech? We have the wherewithal. We have the investors waiting for it. We have industry wanting to come and do business. So we don't have a choice. We have to get onto that road which will lead us in that path. Whether some people may like it or not, most people want it. And most people are very keen to say, don't miss the bus this time. And in that context, I would want to say here I was talking in Kolkata the other day. You have Saikia ji here. I take that I am speaking something with the spirit of wanting to benefit every state. The tendency in India is industry will go only to those states where the ecosystem prevails. So one industry set up, mother industry set up 100 ancillary units. One industry with 100 ancillary units, another mother industry. So that is how cyclically industry will develop in an area. Maybe right. But today's industries are willing to be a lot more open-minded about where they want to set up. I'm giving you this example of what has happened in Assam in the recent past months. Semiconductor chip manufacturing has gone to Assam. If we won't only think for a minute, does it have that ecosystem? No, probably it is there in Bengaluru, it is there in Hyderabad, it is there in Gurgaon, it is there probably in a few other places around Delhi. Maybe if you think of it, Nasik. But why Assam? They set up 3 different places, 3 different assembly lines and testing and packaging, ATP as they call ATMP. Assembly, testing, marking and packaging, ATMP. That's gone to Assam. There are other 2 units, one in Sanand, Anand in Dholera, both of whom are in Gujarat. Why? I was studying in Bengal. If we think that industry go only where there is ecosystem, no ecosystem for ATMP semiconductor in Assam for sure. You may set up a cement factory because there's limestone. You may set up a bamboo processing because there's enough bamboo growing there. You may set up anything to do with water related industries because gigantic Brahmaputra is there. You may have these river cruise going up to anywhere further east till let's say Parashuram Kund, if the navigation can take us that far. How did it go? Semiconductor chip manufacturing. Sheer proactiveness of the state government. Sheer readiness to say, I want an industry in my state, so tell me what you want, I'll do all that for you. Lawfully. No backhanded, no underhand, no kickback, nothing. Through policy, I give you the land. Through policy, I'll give you everything that you need, but come and set it up for us. Proactive approach, which is what Gujarat was known for and is still known for. To the semiconductor, other than Assam, has also gone there. And remember, much before Prime Minister Modi came to Delhi to become Prime Minister, as Chief Minister, he welcomed the Tata Nano project going away from Kolkata to Gujarat. Proactive approach to make sure that the state should have its legitimate share in manufacturing is a critical component, and I think that is what I would emphasize industry leaders to work with the state government to make sure that happens. That is one thing. Second, a thing which I said in Mumbai, again in a meeting of chartered accountants, and I say it here when I have Madam Jha sitting here. I would want you to take it as a challenge for yourself and for the entire brethren here. This is something, I'm not saying it for the first time. Prime Minister Modi has spoken about it. I said this in Mumbai when I spoke to the chartered accountants. I say it even now. Why is it that in spite of large number of high quality chartered accountants in India, and our chartered accountants are respected, all mutual recognition is happening in many countries, our chartered accountants become leaders in Big Four, partners even within 3 years of working there because of their extraordinary diligence and their ability to work. Most of them have become partners within 3, 5, 4 years. But you'd rather become a partner in a big four, but not form a big four in India. Why? I would now say, Bihar, show your leadership in this. Show your leadership here. One of the big four chartered accountancy company partnerships doesn't have to come from anywhere else, but if the prowess of the Bihari mind, which I literally, naman, salute, the mind that Bihar has, the prowess of that mind, collective mind, should establish a chartered accountancy company firm, as you would call, partnership, as you would call, good enough, big enough, strong enough, professional enough, to be reckoned as one of the top 4 company partnerships. What stops us from doing it? Bihar mein dimag ka kam hai kya? Bilkul nahi. Every walk of life, the brain of Bihar speaks. And speaks with versatility, the felicity of the language, the clarity of... And tak. I don't want to say takatak because it was used in a different context by a different leader altogether. But I'm saying that is the level with which you are all over the world. You're showing leadership in big companies. Private equity partnerships are looking for Bihari minds and experience. I want you all to start working. In fact, what I said in Mumbai was, government as back for his 3rd term will have 100 days agenda. He's going to make a list of 100-day works that he will launch. Within 100 days, this. I want ICAI Bihar chapter to say my 100 days start the chartered accountancy firm. I don't want to clap on this. It's not a novel thought. I want a dedication. I want a commitment from chartered accountants here to say, we'll work together. And I'm sure in that Rituraj can be of great help. His exposure, global exposure, his association with very many different business houses can all help you all. That is your first 100 days towards 2047 Vikasit Bharat. The Bihar ICAI will, within the first 100 days, start the work. I'm not saying get me a firm which is big four, then coordination with Chartered Accountancy, Institute of Chartered Accountants of India, which is headquartered in Delhi. Get that work done. So that is one thing I place before you, because I think you're capable, you can do it. That's I tell you. Don't want to have a very big opening statement, but this country is going to be a land of opportunities. I left that argument halfway. The other day when I was talking to CII, I very clearly said this live. India will have 30 crore people in the middle class by 2030. Their demand, with the purchasing power that they have, is going to go up exponentially. More than 1 lakh. They also require guidance and financial literacy in handling their affairs. They are innovators in some field, but in managing their accounts and managing their monies and business, they need your help. So you have to guide them to say how best to handle their finance, because they don't have a mind for that. They are into something in which they are innovating and taking products. To lead them the way to build stronger startups in India, it's you who... I was happy to also tweet, was grateful that the Prime Minister recognized that and tweeted himself that Indian banks, scheduled commercial banks, are in the best of their health. There's so much happening in terms of tech. Rapid changes are happening in the way banking is operating. Rapid changes are happening in the way in which people are making financial transactions. That is another area in which chartered accountants adapting to technology, how technology is helping the taxpayer, helping the financial transactions in this country. And you, being familiar with technology, should be able to help, one hand, the tax collection people, the sovereign tax collectors who are the revenue banks, which depend on liquidity, credit, and everything else for the economic activity to be financed. So there is a need for chartered accountants to get themselves familiar with technology, but the way in which technology is changing the face of India's finances. And based on that, advise your clients, seek global clients, and make sure the global clients are familiar with the ways in which Indian. It won't take more of your time. I'm sure there's going to be some kind of an exchange afterwards. We can always share our thoughts. I always look forward to taking inputs from you all. Please keep it coming. Thank you very much.
मुझे लगता है कि जितने बैठे हुए मेंबर्स हैं हमारे, उनके पास काफ़ी क्वेश्चंस होगा। तो मेरे ख्याल से एक रिप्रेजेंटेशन हमारे अरुण सर ने भी बनाया था, तो मेरे ख्याल से 2-3 क्वेश्चंस के लिए तो सारे क्वेश्चंस लेना संभव नहीं है, बट वी हैव सम क्वेश्चंस फ्रॉम बैक। माइक यार।
Hi ma'am, we feel honored by your CS Sakshi practitioner. Ma'am, I have a very basic question that we have been recently by an audit disclosure about audit trail, where all the companies, irrespective of their size, they have to make like what kind of audit disclosure needs to be done. So for the larger companies, it's easier to do because they are following a proper procedure with the proper software and everything. But the problem are with the small companies, like every day we are registering 2 to 3 companies. So they are so small that they are not able to even how are we going to close those kind of audit trails in our audit reports, because it becomes challenge for us. Thank you.
Well, I won't be able to respond on something which they gave with the. I will check it up with them and come back to you.
Basically, our concern is, ma'am, that there are some rules which we have hit for the compliance. And that compliance is applicable to the big company also, small company also. In Companies Act, we have a special privilege for the small companies. But those compliances are to be done. For so that we are going for some relaxation for such kind of compliances for the small companies, which is not very necessary for them to be disclosed.
Point taken, but I want to ask of them as to why. After all, they'll also be aware of the fact that small companies give a cow. Knowing that they can give a cow out for small companies, they've come up with something. It is still bothering the small companies. I want to ask them as to what is the logic behind it.
Also, thank you.
Rajesh Khitan, Chartered Accountant. There were days when we were keep requesting to extend due dates, but for last few years we haven't asked for, and things are working so smoothly. Now, our request from my side, the time limit which has been submitted for filing TDS return for post quarter by the enterprise, because what happens, the last date
take inputs from many others as well, because you're good enough to say it will help you, and you're good enough to say it's all right, but because it's too short a duration, so can be taken up earlier itself, so that we have a longer duration before filing. We'll have to take the inputs of others as well. If they are agreeable to it, of course, we take up your suggestion.
And one more, this is a rather request that see, you have met occupied over the time, you mentioned many provisions of the Companies Act in particular. So earlier with new tax regime under income tax, there was section 115AB, where tax rate of 15% was made applicable for domestic manufacturing. That they commence commercial production by 31st March 2024. If Bihar is industrially backward state, and we are trying very hard to attract some industry to start industrial production in Bihar. So we were expecting to next year in this interim budget year, but there was no such announcement. We request you if it can be considered, because Bihar is otherwise industrially backward state. If it can be considered for the state only event, that will help us. Thank you, ma'am.
Good evening, ma'am. I am Rajendra Kumar, CA, practicing since last 30 years. पिछले 10 साल में 2-3 ऐसे मौके आए हम लोगों ने बहुत सहज नहीं महसूस किया। पहला, जब 3 अलग अलग प्रोफेशनल इंस्टीट्यूट्स को मर्ज करने का प्लान हुआ। दूसरा, जब नोटबंदी के समय में चार्टर्ड अकाउंटेंट्स की बदनामी हुई। और अभी कुछ दिन पहले कि चार्टर्ड अकाउंटेंट्स को एक यूनिवर्सिटी बना करके वहाँ से डिग्री मिलेगी। तो इसमें हम लोगों को अपने एग्जिस्टेंस की, जब हम लोगों ने इतना अच्छा काम किया है, इतने सालों में सरकारों ने हम पर भरोसा किया है, आज के दिन में ऐसा क्या चार्टर्ड अकाउंटेंट्स को उतना भरोसा सरकार नहीं कर रही है जितना हम लोग लगता है, हम लोग अपने काबिलियत के बेसिस पे महसूस करते हैं कि हम पे होना चाहिए। वो भी तब जबकि नोटबंदी के समय में हम लोगों ने सरकार को बताया कि पेनल्टी क्लॉजेज हैं या जो भी उसकी कॉन्सिक्वेंसेस हैं वे आपके एक्ट में मिसिंग है। और तब वो मिड दिसंबर में वो रेट्रोस्पेक्टिव कानून आया। हम लोगों ने हेल्प किया, लेकिन चाहे ब्यूरोक्रेट्स की तरफ से हो, आज के दिन में हम लोग इस सरकार का भरोसा क्यों नहीं जीत पा रहे? थैंक यू।
I don't know from what I spoke, gave you that impression. Will I ask you all to form the big 4 chartered accountants for the world from here, not just for the first time here, but also in Mumbai? If I, on behalf of the government, I can say it with confidence,
SP Singh, practicing chartered accountant under the firm B Gupta and Company, very old firm. My own is that from the central government must have a very special liberal power or policy to so far allotment of bank audits and public sector audits are concerned. Because what happens that all the audits go to the metro chartered accountant district. In spite of having, as you have also, or you may see, best talents, and I can assure you personally on behalf of B Gupta and Company, we can make in Bihar if we get this support from you.
thank you very much.
Hello, this is Prachi Agarwal. I'm an ex-Deloitte consultant and I'm KP Consultancy and Co. and I take immense pleasure and pride in being a member of ICAI. But since we spoke about Bihar, so when we say this term loud Bihar, there is certain image or perceptions that is being made in the, in the minds of, and the reasons are likely so because of lack of literacy, lack of industries, migration of young people from Bihar to other state is also one of the problems that we are facing here.
This is going to be the last question.
Brought up in Delhi and I moved to Patna and I want to contribute to the maximum of my capacity. However, it's my sincere request if the government and we as the whole ICI could, with hands in hands, more industries in Patna, settle them, we can provide all the financial aid as possible, so that and retain the young population who are moving from Bihar to other places. All those people that you spoke about, the MNCs and stuff, they are holding that position in other cities but not in Bihar. So that's my sincere request from you. Thank you.
Thank you, and that is the spirit in which when Prime Minister says Viksit Bharat, the engine of that growth will be in East India. Bihar, Jharkhand, Orissa, Bengal will be the engine for India to reach Viksit Bharat. Stage by 2047 means there's so much which is being invested in terms of resources, in terms of the capability that is possible from this region and the kind of mineral and other wealth that this region can offer. And it is not just by word of mouth. The investment for railways, investment for upkeep of new to be from the old stations making up newer ones or improving the old ones, introduction of Vande Bharat. A public sector fertilizer factory, the Baroni refinery has 9,200 crores of money has been put because we want to revive the East. And that is the approach of Prime Minister Modi. And for that, giving natural gas connect, something which we are looking up to. I was speaking somewhere else. If there are 114 aspirational districts, 62 of them are in these 3 states. I know there are 4 states when we talk about the East becoming both in the aspirational district. So I'm not including any of the districts from West Bengal. Just these 3 states constitute 60 of the 114 aspirational districts, which the Prime Minister directly monitors to uplift them. So emphasis is being given for this region, for this state, and that is why I am saying state governments will also have to be proactive. State governments will have to now look at industry will have to be brought here. You have industry here. You cannot say I'm expecting industries to come here. Make it magnetic for Bihar to draw industry. And that is why I gave the example of Assam and the chip manufacturer going. We in the government and Prime Minister Modi, the 3rd term when he comes back, will be fully committed. He's already showing it in action.
हेलो मैम, मेरा नाम राम राघव चौधरी है। मैं चार्टर्ड अकाउंटेंट हूँ। जो है कि मैं पब्लिक चार्ज की बात कर रहा हूँ, जो टैक्स पे करते हैं उनके लिए कोई इंसेंटिव प्लान क्यों नहीं होना चाहिए, उनके परिवार के लिए क्यों नहीं होना चाहिए, और इस पे आप लोगों को ध्यान देने की जरूरत है।
Why do you assume that the taxpayer's family will be totally excluded from they were to buy a 45 lakh affordable housing. Assume it is a low middle class family which is paying tax. When they go to buy a house under the affordable housing program, they get tax incentive, they get also interest subvention when they, and when they have the one property, even the second property is nowadays given the exemption in tax. I'm sure many of the chartered accountants can correct me if I'm wrong. So, and what makes you think that the taxpayer cannot be a farmer? The farmer may not pay his farm, got a house in which he's got a rental income, or he's got some fixed deposit, or his children are earning taxable money. They are also part of the farmer's family. For farmer, interest subvention is given for the agriculture crop loan he takes, for solar established, for rooftop solar they get interest subvention and also viability gap funding. So please don't think that every taxpayer is totally exempt. They get some wherever possible.
Life insurance करना चाहिए उनको एक assurance मिलेगा
no, when you say उनको include किनको
जो taxpayers हैं basically उनको नहीं.
Now 70 years and above, irrespective of whether they are taxpayers or not,
मैं